They have manufactured a conspiracy that he is in a toxic relationship.
If you're with somebody and your life gets worse, you're not with somebody that's good for you.
I think Ian can recover, and he can do it all in one fell swoop with one video titled Content Cop Anissa Joma. How cool would that be, huh?
I think that would be pathetic. And I think that the fact that we're the same age and you don't understand that is so terminally online brained.
I am not here to glaze or disavow the moral character of either of these people.
But isn't that relevant to why people would be giving criticisms?
Keemstar, Hannah, Ricegum, and Leafy kind of needed to be called out at that point in time. Yet he still seems to harbor such tremendous guilt for reasons that elude us.
You don't understand why he would want to apologize about some of his content, like even a little bit of it?
A couple online and see people attacking your partner.
And yet this guy who's performatively crying was not able to be like, hey, my other friends of Anissa's, maybe we shouldn't call CPS on Ethan's fucking children. All right, silly gooses. I'm curious about this video. You know, Ethan, Hassan, Destiny, iDubbbz, Anissa. What the fuck? Incredible stuff. We always love it. Anyway, it's called iDubbbz grew up. His fans hate that. Might be a little bit of a level of truth to that, but I don't know if this is going to be an honest video. So let's get going. Hey, that's cool.
Love, men,
What the fuck is happening?
relationships, and growth. What do all of these things have in common?
Probably not having a good microphone, I feel like.
They're all things that iDubbbz fans know nothing about.
Oh, got him!
Hell,
There's a level of truth to some people being annoyed by iDubbbz changing at all. But at the same time, iDubbbz definitely overcorrected, so...
hello and welcome to another episode of Noah was ambushed by some pretty
How old is this video? 5 days old.
weird and dishonest and kind of sexist internet content, and is now going to use it as a framework to try and teach you hot bitches something useful. Do not try and leave or you will be going in the soup. Also, this costume sucks so fucking much. These feet things don't stay on. These wings are digging into my back. I am on the verge of a sensory overload. On
This is the type of humor I've been looking for in an iDubbbz video. You know what I'm saying, dude?
July 31st, 2025, I was the Twin Towers and a YouTube video was the plane. The worst wife on YouTube is a
It is true. I don't think Anissa's a very good wife. So, just being honest.
late-term abortion of a video put out by
get
Ren's
this.
Reviews, who I knew from his quirky game reviews, but it seems in my absence from watching him in a while, he's pivoting to cruel, mean-spirited F-tier drama slop about iDubbbz and his wife Anissa. Excuse me, he's making a character study, not drama.
She is mentally what Stephen Hawking was physically.
If you don't know who iDubbbz is, he used to say the N-word on the internet.
That is something he did say, but I don't think generally speaking, iDubbbz used to make videos criticizing people on the internet with some edgy jokes sprinkled in. He frankly could have kept the overall general sense of what he used to do without being as edgy, and it would have been fine, and there would be very little fan backlash. But he decided to go on like a tour. You know, an entire tour of like, no, wait, everything I did was wrong back in the day, blah, 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 instead of just like, you know, making some meaningful changes and moving forward. And now he's at the point where he seems to have lost his ability to be entertaining to the point where he actually like is like legitimately distressed by it. So.
And now he doesn't. And understandably, some people are mad about this. Because of this
I feel like this would have been a good criticism like years ago, but this 2 years ago maybe, but we're
now he doesn't. And understandably,
and like really iDubbbz's entire brand centralizes around how he's not a bad guy anymore, and it gets fucking old. Like there's nothing of substance other than I'm not a bad guy anymore. It's like, okay, great, man, it's good for you. Like holy fuck, get something else.
some people are mad about this. Because of this video showing up in my notifications, I was forced to learn that this slop is an entire genre of YouTube video, and now you are too. You're welcome. I've been loosely aware of many edgelord fans of iDubbbz who do not like his objectively good pivot to being less of a bigoted human being, but this
Didn't he carried a swastika sword? What do you mean? How is he less of a bigot? He's carried a swastika sword. What the fuck are you talking about? It's kind of strange to pick the only ninja sword with the fucking swastika on it when you're trying to when you're criticizing a Jewish guy. Although I guess it's just okay to do edgy jokes in one direction. I don't understand.
Scam sponsor filled abomination taught me that many of them are so slathered in denial that they have manufactured a big dumb conspiracy made of many smaller baby conspiracies, that he is in a toxic relationship and that is why he doesn't like eating sewer pickles and eating—
He is. Listen, you guys have to understand something. This is just a one-to-one for anybody, but I'm gonna take it to man, woman. If you're with somebody and your life gets worse, you're not with somebody that's good for you. I don't really know how else to say it. Since iDubbbz and Anissa got together, Ian has lost his ability and confidence to make content. He's gotten worse. He's gotten less intelligent, less meaningful and good critiques. He just sucks. Okay. I think most people like myself were actually like pretty, was like, oh, it was cool when he decided to be less edgy and more productive and not like use slurs as a funny LOL. Right. But like he has not been able to adjust. He sucks. He just sucks now. He's boring. He's terrible. His commentary is shit. And a big part of that is the partner he's with. Since I got with my wife, I have just done nothing but get like more, just better at life. Not even just money wise and making more money, but also I'm more healthy with my relationships, my friendships, my family. My family likes me more. My friends like me more. Ian is losing friends left and right. He can't make it to his best friend's wedding because his wife is getting a tattoo that day. It's pathetic. So like, yes, those people were people saying Anissa was shit from the start because they were sexist, possibly, but now we're at a point where anybody in a healthy relationship could look at them and go, oh wait, this is pathetic. Oh, she's not a good influence on him. She's actually a negative influence on him. She's having a negative impact on him and his content. So like, yeah, she sucks, man.
Eating hair cake anymore. None of those words are in the Bible.
He built a legacy of 8 million subscribers and threw it all away for a girl. And I mean that. He literally actively changed himself for her. In fact, I believe that I have the most compelling case against Anissa on YouTube.
Stupid ass motherfucking boots, piece of goddamn garbage, shitty ass fucking stupid. However, the psychological landmine that I walked into surprisingly turned out to be the perfect vessel to talk about a bunch of things that have been on my mind recently, like what it means to grow up as a man, what it means to have a good relationship with another human being, not AI, you absolute weirdos, and how many people would rather make content obsessing over another man's wife.
It's not really obsessing. It's funny to make fun of them. Let's just be real. That's part of it. I'm not going to lie about that. It's just funny to make fun of them, dude. You know?
Rather than talk about their feelings.
Why the fuck would you want to talk about your feelings all the time? What? I don't understand. Why would they rather? I mean, they're making slop content. That's we're all making slop. All right? We like slop. She's a shitty partner though. And frankly, Ian's a shitty partner too. I wish people would talk about the aspect of it, of like the fact that she steamrolls him all the time is obviously because like a fault of hers, but then also like it's a fault of Ian's too. Like he's too weak to set boundaries with his own fucking partner. That's a factor too that people don't really keep in mind. So like he's weak too. It's not just her, it's both of them. You know, she's a steamroller and he's a coward and doesn't set any boundaries with her. And he probably has a TBI. So at least they'll be able to have a job in the future. Maybe she can work as like a stay-at-home something, where like she could be like an at-home nurse or something like that.
Watching how Ren and many others have spent years obsessing and attempting to dismantle the relationship of a man who has clearly tried to better himself and
well, we can all try, but he's certainly failed.
Create distance from his own clearly vitriolic fan base. I found the perfect group in iDubbbz fans to illustrate everything you should not do if you don't want to die alone, in misery, or both. No offense to the non-shitty iDubbbz fans out there. Like, you guys know who you are and you're not—
What iDubbbz fans are left? It's just Hassan fans at this point.
Who I'm talking about. And I just want to be extra crystal clear here in that I am not here to glaze or disavow the moral character or actions of either of these people, because quite frankly, I don't give a shit and I probably never will, despite how it might look.
Don't you think that would be relevant if you're... What?
Moral character crystal clear here in that I am not here to glaze or disavow the moral character or actions of either of these people, because—
But isn't that relevant to why people would be giving her criticism? So I'm not understanding why you wouldn't bring that up. What? That doesn't make sense to me.
Quite frankly,
hey guys, we're going to talk about how you're all sexist for criticizing Anissa. By the way, I'm not going to get into the moral character of Anissa. Oh, okay. That makes sense to somebody.
I don't give a shit, and I probably never will. Despite how it might look, I get bitches. I stack paper. I don't give a shit what a creator clash is, and nothing will make me care that she has an OnlyFans.
I feel like that's a lot of the drama because they were so irresponsible in their managing of Creator Clash that it's relevant to their character. What this video is just like, hey guys, I think what's happening here, what's going to happen here is basically this guy thinks that because a woman's getting criticism and she has an OnlyFans, it must be a sexism happening. And that's pretty much what the substance of this entire video is going to be. Hey, it's all all fucking bullshit. Because a woman's involved. Okay, cool, man. You know,
grow up.
What the fuck is
I'm
this?
here to talk about men, love, growth. But first,
okay,
I need to do a little bit of groundwork on what I'm about to talk about because, God, this shit's so ass.
This video was totally just made for ad money, oh man. All right, well, if that's true, you know what? I guess I can respect it. If he's deciding to just farm people who hate Anissa for this, I guess that's something. Fair enough, if true. Fair,
this
if
video
true.
was terrible. It's effectively just a big compilation of all the
Oh, I thought you meant his video was made for ad revenue.
deranged talking points that people like him have been coming up with, because the actual content of this video is just slapping together a billion clips of Ian and Anissa or other people's content with almost zero editing and added context on top of them outside of the occasional insult towards Anissa.
She's done well financially, yes, sure, but inside, she's got this unfillable black chasm.
And of course, the sprinkling of very revealing statements.
I don't think I have an interest in watching the core video, but also, just to be clear, what the fuck are you doing? This entire video was recorded inside of like a fucking Chili's or something. What the fuck? I'm not gonna watch this guy's video. I will say, maybe it has, I don't know. We'll see if this guy brings up anything to critique. But why the fuck are you in the middle of like a fucking Applebee's doing this? I don't know. Whatever your process is, God bless.
About his own inner world.
Yet he still seems to harbor such tremendous guilt for reasons that elude us.
No, that's a good point though. Like, it's okay to have some guilt about some of the content that you made, but like, yes, it does seem disproportionately higher than it needs to be. His content wasn't so bad that he needs to like constantly always keep fucking apologizing over and over and over again, because iDubbbz really has like this pattern of constantly apologizing for this shit, and it's so disproportionate, and it's like it's unnecessary. Like, apologize, change your content, and then fucking move on. But he doesn't do that. He just continuously fucking apologizes for this shit over and over again. And it's to the point where it's fucking like, Jesus Christ, make some real content instead of fucking around, you know?
So a lot of this is basically just like moral grandstanding, lies, and sexism, but we'll get
everything's a sexism, baby.
it there. Outside of the large amount of clipping that he had to do for this, the video feels very structurally and intellectually lazy, to the point that it feels like
why?
It just kind of shat out to get the ad money from the extremely sketchy scam sponsor that he put in this video.
Applebee's.
He's at Applebee's. What's the sponsor?
Is expensive, okay? Luckily though, I can make money through Cash Giraffe. It's an app that lets you earn money by playing mobile games.
Like, it's an obvious scam. You can't look at this and the Trustpilot reviews and tell me that this is legitimate.
Well, no, I don't think any of those are fucking legit. Those those fucking things where you're just like, oh, just play games for ad money. I've played those before, like a long time ago, and mostly what happens is like you win a lot until you get close to the threshold. And then you no longer win anymore, so you can't, like, because if there's like a threshold of how much you have to make to be able to withdraw it. So
also, like, come on, man, if you're gonna try to frame this piece of drama slop as like a character study on the nature of toxic relationships, put in a little bit more effort than doing one take in an Applebee's while literally just reading off of Google. See, I've gone ahead and roughly color-coded this so you can kind of see the breakdown that I'm talking about here. The pink sections are where he's really just playing clips. The two biggest sections here and here are where he's listing off and mocking Anissa's personal struggles while framing her as a broken person who just hurts other people.
So being subjected to a lot of toxic situations like Anissa has been tends to make one a toxic individual.
The other one...
What's a toxic situation that she's been interacting? I mean, does he say that? Or...
is him trying to frame her as an abuser and Ian as the abused by reading...
I don't think that that's true. Jesus Christ. I don't think that she's an abuser. I think that, like, she's a steamroller and Ian is very weak and he doesn't know how to set boundaries very hard. So she steamrolls him and he's like too much. And I feel like we don't talk about that enough. We mostly, like, she's not a fucking abuser though.
Reading off another list from a domestic abuse website. This is a real video somebody wrote, recorded, edited, and uploaded. Crazy. The orange sections are where he's adding his very robust commentary, and the green, naturally, is the ad read. See, if we get rid of his very enriching commentary, this video is really just about 2/3 clips, nearly devoid of context or elaboration on his part, and make...
Just because they're clips doesn't mean that there's no elaboration on the clips. What the fuck?
This entire video almost feel...
We're gonna have to watch this fucking video. The worst wife on YouTube in order to get the context for the other video we want to watch. So let's just watch it. Let's see how good it is.
Over the past few years, our old pal iDubbbz has lost the plot.
I lose the plot.
Gotta love the Applebee's setting, baby.
By wasting tens of thousands of dollars that could have gone to charity on a big gala at the end of his Creator Clash event.
$20,000 to basically like just be a little bit less in pain after going through all this torment and trauma.
He's gone from an edgelord to the Lord of Edging.
My girlfriend started an OnlyFans
Gotta love the Lord of Edging. Very silly.
account, and I'm totally fine with dudes off to pictures of her on the internet.
He built a legacy of 8 million subscribers and threw it all away for a girl. And I mean that. He literally
Was she a cute girl?
actively changed himself for her.
Are you thankful that she influenced you in this way?
Yes, absolutely. A lot of the things that she describes like admiring in other people, I'm like, I kind of want to strive to be like those people.
Now, I'm sure most of you are very familiar with this whole topic, but I gotta tell you something. I went into this whole thing one layer deeper than anybody else has. I've approached this situation with a whole brand new perspective that shines a completely different light on it entirely. In fact, I believe that I have the most compelling case against Anissa on YouTube.
Cool.
I got a lot of juicy info on this one. I tell you what, boy, juicier than a sewer pickle, baby. And you know what? I thought that talking about iDubbbz's wife here at the Applebee's would be the perfect way to spend our first date together. Applebee's, baby.
Why? What?
We're eating like peasants tonight. But here's the thing though, right? Applebee's is expensive, okay? Luckily though, I can make money through Cash Giraffe. It's an app that lets you earn money by playing mobile games. Much like Ian, Cash Giraffe is very easy to use.
Oh, got him!
First thing you want to do.
I mean, that it doesn't kind of make sense. He does seem to be so immature, insecure at this point. I don't even know if iDubbbz trusts himself to make any decisions for himself. Fuck.
Take out this thing called a telephone. Most of you have it in your pocket. Then go to this app called Play Store. Then in the search thing, you want to type the word cash followed by the word giraffe. Then what you do after that is hit enter. It showed up. The magic of modern technology. Click
You know the deal. We watch the ads.
install. I am now an owner of it. Once you're in the app, you're going to be all like, hey, that's pretty good. You can then find games within the app to play, like Lord's Mobile Pacific Rim, or Block Puzzle Block Smash Game, aka game where you smash block puzzle. After you download a game, the Cash Giraffe himself, Gareth, will track the game progression and reward you with coins. Whoa! I made $5 on Cash Giraffe, and so did the rest of this cult.
I earned $5 with Cash Giraffe. I earned $5 with Cash Giraffe.
So what are you waiting for? Click my link in the description and get up to 3,999 coins as a welcome bonus. I'd like to thank the Lord for this sponsorship. We love you, Cash Giraffe. Amen. Bless me. I'll keep this part brief because we all know the iDubbbz story, right? From a bad unboxer
Money shot.
to a bad boxer. From being on the top of YouTube to being Anissa's bottom. Nowadays, he's been dragged through the mud so badly that it's really easy to forget how good his content used to be. I mean, this guy used to seem like he was bulletproof. Whenever a content cop dropped, the internet would stop, as they had these gigantic rip.
Dude, this video is so fucking boring. Holy fuck. Jesus Christ. Just get to the fucking point.
Ripple effects on the creators he was policing. He altered and even ruined entire careers within the span of 20 minutes. Then, at the time of its upload, I thought that Full Force was one of the best videos on the entire website. It actually inspired me to up my game and make something bigger than what I usually made, which is why I actually made that VR chat video a couple of years back. You can go check that one out when you're done here. I was legitimately inspired by him, and so the fact that I'm here now making this video is honestly kind of surreal and sad. Because what's blown me away about this entire debacle is that Ian used to be genuinely funny.
Okay, so it's a Roblox toy, but it's a Roblox toy in a box.
This video is so fucking boring. Holy fuck. I don't even think I'm gonna... What do I do with this? This is such a boring fucking video. Like, it really is completely, like, there's, like, no fucking substance in it at all. Holy shit.
That's, 14 times the size of the Roblox toy.
And I've never in my life seen anybody lose the entirety of their being in the way Ian has. And it makes you wonder, right? What could have possibly come along and snuffed out his spark like that? Anissa, or as I like to call her, Onision,
I feel like more people hate me than Onision.
is iDubbbz's current wife. And it is my belief that she carries a majority of the responsibility for the downfall of the iDubbbz channel. And once you see what I got here, you'll know what I mean.
I'm an incredibly negative person. I'm very, doom heavy.
She is what a psychiatrist might refer to as being doused with lunacy.
Ian keeps me on a leash, okay? And I'm okay with that because I need to be on a leash because I am unhinged.
She's angry.
I know that you would fucking cry if I said something to you in real life. I know you would cry. How do I know? Because I've done it to one of you fuckers.
Yeah, she doesn't really seem like she knows how to interact with social media. Even though she's a content creator. She gets really self-conscious when people criticize her. She hasn't learned to just shut the fuck up. She does seem to have like some anger problems for sure.
In real life, and you have cried. Yeah, I'm an angry bitch.
She has ADHD, but since she's a woman, it's lady HD. She's got a good old body dysmorphia.
Body dysmorphia is something that
I doubt she has like body dysmorphia. She's probably just upset with the way her body looks sometimes, and she decided that it's like an actual mental health thing, just to be quirky or something. So
not only I've struggled with, but a lot of my family members and friends struggle with as well.
She's got.
I doubt she has body. She probably just doesn't like the way she looks sometimes. I doubt like people love to like pretend that they have like these fucking like super deep-seated body dysmorphia. Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt you have diagnosed body dysmorphia. Everybody is upset by the way that their body looks sometimes. It doesn't matter if you are. It doesn't mean you have body dysmorphia. Okay, having body dysmorphia is more than just, hey guys, I'm upset about the way my body looks sometimes.
OCD.
You may have heard me mention that I do have OCD.
Potentially even some BPD.
You did have OCD? Does she not have it anymore? What the fuck?
in there, that's a fun one.
People online love diagnosing me with BPD. They love telling me I have BPD.
Crippling anxiety.
We limit driving specifically because I'm so terrified of getting in an accident. So
Maybe even a splash of some histrionic personality disorder.
Other symptoms include compulsive oversharing about one's private life, dressing in a provocative manner for attention, being strongly opinionated about things they don't know much about, being easily influenced by peers and emulating them, and the list goes on.
She's got post-traumatic stress.
Have PTSD from when I was 5. I went into septic shock. I almost died. My parents said goodbye to me. It was a big thing.
Pre-traumatic stress.
I had a therapist tell me that I have hypervigilance.
Complex post-traumatic stress.
I do have, I guess, some CPTSD and some other things.
Abandonment issues.
I would get triggered by any form of abandonment, basically, and I would go into 5-year-old brain.
I'm running out of fingers here, guys. She's been through a lot of traumatic stuff. The fact that she felt compelled to post something like this.
What the fuck is this?
Fingers here, guys. She's been through a lot of traumatic stuff. The fact that she felt compelled to post something like this.
Raped at 16 by a classmate. Oh, okay. Crazy. Doctor dragged at 18 at a bar and God knows what. Oh, drugged. Touched inappropriately by my boss as a severe constantly. What? Okay. Touched inappropriately by my boss. I think it means that it's a server constantly. Okay. Groped at every TwitchCon I've ever been to. All of them. Can't go out without a boyfriend. Oh, maybe that's true. It's so unfortunate because there's a whole conversation to really have about the way people interact with social media and like they will trauma dump on there. And I don't know, I feel like in the long run it's probably not super healthy to like dump your trauma as a trend on social media. It seems ignorant to me. I don't know. It just seems like it's going to, you're going to become embarrassed as time goes on. Like, talk to your friends and your family, the people that you trust on the internet. You're opening people up to be able to say whatever they want about it, and you're potentially going to embarrass yourself like in the future. Like, oh man, I can't believe I said those things and admit I did this. And I don't know, like it's going to be harder for you to move on from as time goes on. I feel like it's one of those things where you should just make it easier on yourself and not necessarily make content based on you having trauma. You know, personally, if you want to have an educated conversation about it, I think that there's space for that if you do it well, but it seems like people rarely do. So I feel like maybe for your own mental, maybe don't trauma dump on the internet, you know?
Is proof that she is in dire need of psychiatric help. And if all these things in her TikTok are true, well then yeah, she's gonna be messed up from all that. It's clearly skewed her view of dudes, as Eminem might say. I mean, she can't even go outside without her boyfriend. There's a lot of mental illness bopping around in that old noodle of hers. She is mentally what Stephen Hawking was physically. Does that make sense? So when somebody has been through as much trauma and strife as Anissa, it's very difficult for them to properly function in the world and in their relationships, right? I think it's why she has this undying need for external validation.
Okay, what did that say? Surviving the stress of planning an event as a couple. Fans coming up to us in the hotel lobby telling us it was the best thing they've ever seen in their life and being asked when the next one is.
She's a lot like Pennywise if you were to replace children's fear with raw validation.
I'm fucking so uncomfortable in this shirt. I look like a little pudgy lad.
You don't look like a pudgy lad.
Which explains why she wanted to start up an OnlyFans and post pictures of her
Money shot.
Or I guess it explains why anybody makes an OnlyFans, really.
I'm pleasantly surprised by what OnlyFans has done for me, not only financially, but mentally and emotionally.
Now look, you know, I like to goof around and make a lot of jokes and that type of thing, right? But I mean it when I say that my heart genuinely goes out to Anissa. Because having a slew of mental illnesses like she does makes life extremely difficult. She's done well financially, yes, sure, but inside, she's got this unfillable black chasm. She's miserable. And it being...
Do you think iDubbbz watches her get her chasm filled by a black guy, or is that what you're saying?
With French fries and a side of honey.
Guys, original joke?
Beautiful.
And the Impossible Burger, no cheese, no pickles, with the garlicky green beans.
Cool, thank you.
Did you ask her if she wanted to be on camera, or?
Yes, sure, but inside, she's got this unfillable black chasm. She's miserable. And it being...
Neighborhood burger with French fries and a side of honey.
Beautiful.
I'm hoping that you asked her if she wanted to be in that video. It's just the fucking tone of this video is so strange.
And the Impossible Burger, no cheese, no pickles, with the garlicky green beans.
Cool, thank you.
All right, is there anything else you gentlemen need?
That should do it. There we go. It's time for another legit food review, right? How is that? That's not very good.
This guy sucks. What the fuck?
Tastes like Anissa's soul. Why did you want to come here? Why did you pick this place? So being subjected to a lot of toxic situations, like Anissa has been, tends to make one a toxic individual. I'm going to say something that might be a little bit controversial, but I think the old iDubbbz is still in there somewhere. He's been snuffed out by Anissa.
Maybe, or maybe he's fucking has an actual TBI and he's not really in there anymore.
But he's still in there, surviving off of hair cake and slurping up toilet water off the floor for hydration. And the reason why I think that is because our boy Ian is in a toxic relationship. Number 1, obsessive behavior.
He called me one time after we were together in Edmonton. You said, I want to talk to you, and hung up the phone. And I was like, holy shit, what's going on? Like, I was panicking. So I contacted his mom, and she was like, he needs to know that you are going to like let him exist, that you're not going to like make this a problem, that he has freedom to like do what he needs to do. So she was like, do not contact him until he contacts you. And for 2 weeks, I managed to not reach out once. It was the hardest thing I had ever done. I literally felt like I was dying.
Number 2, possessiveness.
She would tell Ian when he was tired. One time we ended sparring, and afterwards everybody's hanging out, and she walks up to Ian and she goes, you're hungry.
Yes.
And then so they had to leave because Ian was hungry.
God damn, I don't even talk to my dog like that. And I am his master. Number 3, manipulation.
We were in a boxing gym called Top Rank one time, and there was a guy named Jake Prince who was like a manager for Floyd Mayweather, manager for Andre Ward, all these very high-level boxers. So for me, that's a big deal. And the owner of the gym was kind enough to introduce us, and she was like, no, I don't want to meet him. Ian's tired. You don't want to meet him.
I don't want to meet him because of what?
Yeah.
Ian was tired.
Number 4, guilting.
How much of your career did I honestly fuck up?
That to me is incredibly sad, and
I think a lot. I think Anissa fucked up a lot of iDubbbz's career. Like I said, I think that iDubbbz needed to apologize and he needed to be better and stop being as edgy, but overall his commentary was solid. It just needed to mature, not completely fall off. At the same time, another problem here is that like iDubbbz doesn't stand up for himself. So it's really easy to be like, oh, we saw the introduction of Anissa and we saw a reduction in iDubbbz's success. You know, it's a 1-to-1, and that is a cause for concern. If anybody that you knew got into a relationship with somebody and their life got dramatically worse every day, you would say, yeah, this probably your partner being is a huge reason why. But also, like, Ian completely, Ian also, he doesn't say anything. He leaves every decision up to Anissa. And I can't imagine how exhausting it must be for somebody to be with another person that leaves every decision up to you. Like, that's fucking shit. That's horrible. So iDubbbz got with Anissa, and then he let Anissa steamroll her, and now he's completely comfortable letting her do everything. And letting her be everything. And now, even online, people criticize iDubbbz, but they mostly criticize Anissa for the decisions that he makes. It's like, oh, she has a hold of him. But, like, he's not a victim. He's deciding to be in this relationship, and he's deciding to be lazy in this relationship. You know, I think iDubbbz is so much worse than Anissa. And it makes sense why she freaks out constantly, because the pressure is on her for being shit. When, realistically, like, Ian is shit. You know, they're both a problem, but like I just feel like he's lazy and doesn't stick up for himself, and he doesn't want to like actually engage with shit. And I feel like that's a big problem. That's a bigger problem than her steamrolling him, in my opinion. I don't think Anissa is such a horrifically abusive person that people can't set boundaries around her. I just think that iDubbbz is lazy as fuck.
I feel really terrible that you feel that way, and I feel even worse that there are these chunks of people on the internet that like to push that narrative.
Number 5, belittling.
I just want to ask you if you've always been shitting your pants. Because since I've known you, you've always had like IBS. You've always been shitting yourself.
Like, this is inappropriate. You shouldn't be going on. And, you shouldn't be going on and saying stuff like this in public. It's embarrassing for your partner. At the same time, do we think that after this there was a conversation from iDubbbz being like, hey, you can't talk to me like that in public? I don't know if I believe that, you know?
Yeah, someone said...
I don't think Anissa's abusive at all. I don't think Anissa's abusive. I don't think that that's true. I don't think that she's an inherently abusive person. I think she's with like somebody who doesn't stick up for themselves.
Pick 3 words to describe your fashion, and that's like how you can like work on your fashion. So for Ian, for example, I would say trashy or trailer park would be one. Untucked or like a bit unorganized, and simple.
Number 6.
I mean, that's not necessarily a criticism. That might just be like the fucking, I don't know. Like, I like ghetto girls. I don't consider saying that like a negative thing. So, you know, it might just be like similar to that.
Sabotage.
What the hell is this? He's taken her last name. They married in June with iDubbbz.
I'm saying that's on him. Why didn't they, like, if you want to do something like new age, take each other's last names, you know?
Last name changed from Washburn to Joma.
Not that it matters, but the only reason why we chose my name over his last name is because his last name is like just objectively ugly.
It's a Washburn. It's not that bad.
Number 7, isolation.
And COVID rolls around, I get bored at home, so I make an OnlyFans where I'm showing my meat.
Really?
And, well, basically, I'm taking a steak and I'm rating a steak. And like, see, that's the reaction that you're supposed to have. And I sent it to Ian, and he got mad and called me and like said I was making fun of Anissa, and like I wasn't.
You'll never understand what it's like to be an ally.
Yeah, he like said stuff like that. Haven't talked to him since. That was like 5 years ago.
Over that?
Ian is very malleable. He's the friend in high school who ditches his friend group when he gets his first girlfriend. No, like actually, he missed his best friend's wedding for his wife's tattoo appointment.
Number 8.
It's true.
Controlling behavior.
I have a kinesiology background, nutrition background, so I just...
I went to school and took a kinesiology class one time, guys. I have a background.
I'm able to kind of like
She was guiding me the whole time, tell me what to eat, when to eat. I got diagnosed with ADHD.
Well, he said after the first session he knew that you had ADHD, but after the second session he really knew.
He really knew. Yeah.
That's because I helped take the notes for the second one.
Yeah.
How much of people actually have ADHD, and how much of people are just addicted to their computer or their phone? And I say that as somebody that was diagnosed with ADHD before computers. You know, I'm 35. So I was like legitimately diagnosed with ADHD. But what are the behaviors of somebody with ADHD? Let's see. Difficulty sustaining attention in tasks or activity. If you're somebody that's like addicted to your phone, especially content like TikTok, that goes hand in hand with having like a phone addiction. Frequent careless mistakes. Again, you're not really paying attention, so you're making mistakes. Difficulty following instructions. Again, you're not paying attention. You know, so if you're forgetfulness in daily activities, again, you're not paying attention. Trouble organizing tasks, you're not paying attention. A lot of this is like not paying attention, like inattention in general. Daydreaming. Hyperactivity, excessive fidgeting or movement. Difficulty sitting still. Talking excessively. Blurting out answers before questions are finished. For me, I do this with my wife, and there's a specific reason. It's because if I don't, I'll forget. So my wife even knows that like I have to get a thought out, I forget that thought, and I think that goes hand in hand with ADHD. Difficulty waiting for their turn. Again, I think that comes to having like a thought and it kind of disappears quickly. And if you perseverate on that thought in your head, it's harder to listen to what you're hearing. So, again, the way I interact with my wife is like, I got to say what I have to say or I'll forget. Running around or climbing in inappropriate situations. What? Okay. The point I'm making is like half of this shit is really just because, first of all, I don't think Ian has ADHD based on a lot of this, because he just sits there and fucking takes it like a good boy from Nisa. But a lot of this, I think, comes with like a phone addiction and people being very like, I need stimulation right now, constant need for stimulation. And part of that is because we live in a generation with constant stimulation. Like I've seen people who can just sit there and stare at the sun for an hour and like time passes. A lot of people need constant stimulation. If you're not doing this, you got to do this. You got to do this. Oh, you stop while you're driving at the stoplight. You got to take out your phone. You got to look at something. You got to do something. You have to engage. I don't think people understand that, and I think that like sometimes we misdiagnose in many situations.
Okay, so they're looking.
Oh yeah, we're good. Number 9, responsibility deflection.
It's impossible not to notice that whenever it's to show up to a podcast or take credit for things going well, Anissa's involvement is unavoidable. But whenever it's to address difficult things and actually communicate clearly, you only see Ian. And it's always Ian that pops his head up to take the damage to his reputation, despite him and Anissa being equally responsible for the situation.
Finally, number 10, betrayal.
The fucking day it all ended for Ian. So we're talking about that ring. I want to point out that when Anissa was over at Hassan's, that ring was nowhere to be found on her finger.
Whoa. That is a pretty big deal, if true.
What? And she said that getting to kiss Hassan's dog was the moment of her year.
I'd be real careful if I were you, Ian. Hassan kind of fits right into Anissa's criteria of what she's looking for in a fella.
Anissa said that like
It's possible. It's also possible, especially with like the fact that she does OnlyFans, that they might have some kind of, or there might be the teasing of a different type of relationship. You know what I mean?
Her mom only had 2 expectations for her to marry someone that was rich and also to be of her religion, right? And so she said that and Anissa goes, well, I mean, I didn't get someone that was of my religion, but at least I got one part of it right. He's rich.
Now, it's important to note that Anissa isn't toxic intentionally, right?
You said it, and also my therapist said this, and it changed my life, to be honest, is most people don't wake up trying to hurt other people.
I don't think she understands how actively poisonous she's being, because to ruin his life is also to ruin her own life. And here's the thing, right? Being in a toxic relationship can really mess you up. It can strip you of your entire being, because when your other half is an empty void, that void will drain you of your life essence. Now, look at this. It is not uncommon for someone to be oblivious to a toxic relationship. Often changes are gradual, so it's easy not to know that you might be in an unhealthy relationship. Here are some symptoms to look out for.
I'm very insecure about my ability to create interesting content or like entertain.
Now, this is a guy who used to appear, at least, to be very secure.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Like, as a creator, I've never been as big as iDubbbz, so I'm not going to be able to fully empathize. But there does come a point, I feel like, in every, or at the very least, most creators' lives, where they kind of, like, to some degree, lose confidence in their ability to create, and it kind of makes it hard to overcome. Ian doesn't meaningfully, like, and that's probably the point that he's at. And Ian has not meaningfully tried to change that, which I think is another factor. I think that's something, like, he hasn't really done anything to change that behavior either. I mean, what has he really done? Nothing. He doesn't really try to make content in any meaningful capacity. So he just kind of farts around. He's made a couple of videos. He's made stuff about Cheez-Its. He doesn't understand that there's a different landscape now, so you kind of have to create and interact with your content differently. I think that that's a big reason why he doesn't have confidence anymore, you know? And I don't think that she's somebody that understands the landscape either. So she's not going to be able to help him. So they're just kind of like two people who have no idea what the fuck they're doing. Fucking around, honestly.
Like a straitjacket.
Why are you so controversial?
Ah, man. I think it's like a lot of unregulated confidence.
You have unregulated confidence?
Yeah, I think I have in the past. I've toned it down a bit. You got to pick and choose what you're confident about, right?
But now, the guy can barely even speak without Anissa nearby.
I have this problem where I talk for us. Yeah. I've always had that problem. And
she's doing it now.
I'm doing it now. But that's why I love that you're in therapy, because I think that
I'm getting better at it. Having no choice but to confront it head on. It's like really like, okay, fuck. Anissa's not here. What do I say?
Yeah, see, he's left it to her to be the one to like make decisions and like talk for them. So it's like, you know what I mean?
You compare footage of him from a few years ago.
I don't like incest. Do not send me anything about incest.
To footage of him now, and you can see a distinct lack of life and energy. I mean, the fact that he looks more malnourished now than when he was eating dumpster strawberries and Elmer's glue kind of says it all. Here's something interesting, right? A toxic relationship can significantly erode a person's sense of self by impacting their self-esteem, confidence, and overall well-being. The constant negativity, manipulation, and disrespect can chip away at one's self-worth, making it difficult to recognize their own value, leading to a loss of individuality. This might explain why lately Ian has been acting a little bit Now, this entire section might seem as though that I'm just like an old fan trying to defend Ian for his actions or even absolve him of them, but that is not the case. I think that looking at his situation through this lens makes the most sense and explains why he's been the way that he's been. I wanted to go back to the OnlyFans video where this all began, right?
My girlfriend started an OnlyFans account, which is a website where you can upload amateur porn, and I think all of it is cool. Yeah.
But what Anissa always wanted was a partner that would come to her defense.
Yeah, it seems like Anissa is somebody who is probably more masculine, but wants a more masculine partner that out-masculines her, and she hasn't been able to find it. And so she's, again, steamrolling, whether it's intentional or not, and I don't think it's intentional. She steamrolls iDubbbz, and he doesn't really put up a fight. I think that that's the case here. I think that that's what the issue is here with what's going on.
In essence, what iDubbbz did with this video was he sacrificed his image in order to defend her, which ironically just made him look like even more of a simp. And so the focus on the toxic partner's needs and desires can lead to a neglect of one's own interests and personal goals, resulting in a loss of individuality. Now I want to touch on the video he did where he apologized for all those old content cops.
I think I should have the balls to make an apology video and take accountability for the mistakes I made.
Which to me is just more proof that his brain has been scrambled. Because these people that he called out, right? Keemstar, Hannah, Ricegum, and Leafy kind of needed to be called out at that point in time. Yet he still seems to harbor such tremendous guilt for reasons that elude us. But
well, that's the this is going to be the problem with this video. It's like it's okay. The problem with this guy's video is like it doesn't know what it's talking about. It's just like Anissa bad, and I'm going to try to sprinkle in some intelligent sounding concepts to reinforce that. But like it's okay that he wanted to apologize for being toxic and expressing himself in a toxic way. It's even okay he wants to apologize for expressing himself in a toxic way against bad people, right? But I think that it's become unhealthy to a point where instead of being like, listen, there were aspects of my old content that were toxic, it's gone to a point where, like, oh, all my content was toxic. All of it was bad. You know, none of it was redeemable. That's the issue. And not even being able to understand why he would want to make some kind of a change. That is bizarre to me, especially considering like you look like we look like the same fucking age. If anything, you might even be older than me. It's like you don't understand why he would want to apologize about some of his content, like even a little bit of it. You don't see why he might want to do that. It doesn't make any sense.
I personally think he has a little voice whispering in his ear. The vacation planner of guilt trips herself. Sweet little Anissa. She strikes me as the type of person who goes out of her way to be like virtuous, you know, by standing up for tub girls.
So as I'm sitting there, the two girls look at me and they go, "Can you believe that somebody that large is taking up our gym time?" And that's when I lost it. Any bit of disgusting that they thought this woman was, if they would just look in the mirror or hear what they were saying, like, that is a million times more disgusting than any fucking abomination I can even dream up.
Well, I mean, if you want a fat person to get healthy, wouldn't you want them to go to the gym? What?
Off the bat, I want to let all the newcomers to my channel know that I'm perfectly fine with bullying. Make fun of someone because they're fat, autistic, or riddled with acne. I don't care. Make fun of them.
And so it's easy to see how...
Well, yeah, you could see why. That's stupid. That's an immature, stupid thing to say, though. So it makes sense that he would want to change and move away from that. What?
Her ideologies could have naturally just rubbed off on Ian.
You sort of get pushed into a wall, and like if the ideology that you've been holding on to, that I was holding on to, doesn't have any answers for the situation you're currently in, it's kind of like, well, have I had this? I sort of question myself, have I had this wrong the whole time? Like, you know, I maybe need to rethink some things.
Yeah.
And then Ian goes on a podcast with a therapist and gets extremely real with him, which is a profoundly stupid idea. Like eating with your mouth full on camera. He of all people should know better than to go on a therapist's podcast and vent about his very real problems on a public forum like that, because people will use that information against him. Like this.
The same person live streamed his own therapy session where he actually cried while expressing he wished he had the relationship that Ethan and Hila have.
You know, I also see the dynamic of Ethan and Hila. I'm like, fuck, like...
This is a self-own so devastating, I can hardly believe it's real.
I mean, he's no idiot. He understands how the internet works, because back when he was the cop of content, he would have done the...
Well, I think that Ian wants to be like some kind of like really based empathy guy that like understands something. He's willing to say the things that other people aren't willing to say, and you know, I think that that's why he would do that. And I think he thinks maybe he can be like some kind of a beacon, positive beacon of almost like hope. I don't know. Of like, oh look, I'm a guy on the internet that's expressing his emotions. The problem is that Ian's not a masculine man. There's really never been anything masculine about Ian, and the only reason people liked him wasn't because he was like some kind of like a masculine stalwart or whatever the fuck you want to say. It's because he was an edgy little fucking antisocial person on the internet, which, by the way, again, great criticisms he would have, and he was fun and he was funny, but like it only like expressing your emotions only works. People only care about that if you're like a masculine person. Nobody gives a fuck about like the fucking beta boy like sitting here and being like, guys, you need to be able to express yourself more empathetically. It's like, oh, okay, you're not. Nobody's gonna resonate with that. You know,
very same to the criminals on his beat. And so it's like, why? Why would he do this? I'll tell you why. Probably because his broad-shouldered broad was broadcasting all these ideas into his mind. I mean, the theory checks out. He used to be really private until him and Anissa got close.
I wanted to get him to share more. Like, as our relationship went on, I share a lot. He's wanted me to share less. I've wanted him to share more. We started to meet in the middle. But as he shared more, he gets punished online for it.
And so I think it bears repeating here that
yeah, so maybe you shouldn't share so much.
he consciously changed himself into somebody she would admire.
A lot of the things that she describes like admiring in other people, I'm like, I kind of want to strive to be like those people.
He's been entirely hollowed out and filled in by her. When it's supposed to be the other way around. It's supposed to be the boy that fills in the girl. And so everything that's happened after his apology video, like the Ethan Klein content cop trying to bamboozle Sam Hyde, not disclosing that he gets 35% of the creator clash money.
Well, that's the thing, because like Sam Hyde's not a good person. Like Sam Hyde is a white supremacist fucking piece of dog shit. It's interesting. The fundamentals kind of made sense what he wanted to do. He just wasn't equipped to do it, and he didn't take the joke well when it ended up getting memed on, which just like gave Sam Hyde the opportunity to kind of like come back in some capacity and like look good.
Money and all that.
Especially since Sam Hyde was kind of like on the downturn until that point. But you know, he helped revive his career in some capacity.
It doesn't even register to me because I can't look anymore. It's too horrible. Because as somebody who also has a lot of empathy,
I think only in these past couple of years have I gained the ability empathy.
This entire situation is so sad to see. It's tough to watch a creator that you really love fall because of manipulation and toxicity. And it's nothing short of a tragedy. She really is the modern day Yoko Ono. And you know what happened to John Lennon? He got shot in the belly for being a simp. But I believe that Ian has space for redemption. I genuinely do. Because let's say that everything works out in our favor and they divorce, right? I think Ian can recover and he can do it all in one fell swoop with one video titled Content Cop Anissa Jomha. How cool would that be, huh?
I think that would be pathetic. I think that if there is a world where iDubbbz and Anissa don't work out together and iDubbbz makes a video called Content Cop Anissa Jomha, that would be one of the most pathetic, disgusting, shitty things in the entire world that no adult or mature person would ever go like, oh, that's good. And I think that the fact that we're the same age and you don't understand that is so terminally online brained. If they don't work out, why the fuck would and they get divorced, which is possible, why the fuck would iDubbbz do something so pathetic as to like air out all their private grievances? Oh, well, Anissa's a problem. And iDubbbz sets no boundaries with Anissa. iDubbbz has decided that he is going to 100% put everything onto Anissa for her to like think for him and do for him all the time. And he has not set strong boundaries or stopped that. So when you guys are like, oh, well, she's the worst, he's just as bad in a different way. So if they didn't work out and they moved on, and if he did make a fucking Anissa bad video, I'd think that he was the most pathetic piece of dog shit in the entire world, because he's part of the problem with like every fucking bad thing that's happening in their life. What are you talking about? That would be so stupid. That would be fucking pathetic.
But knowing her, she'll probably get the entire iDubbbz channel in the divorce settlement. But Ian, when she tries to take everything from you in that divorce, go ahead and show her this video so that you can prove to the court that there's nothing left for her to take. Now, thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know if you enjoyed the date. If you liked the video, go ahead and click like.
Weirdo.
If you subscribe to the video, go ahead and click subscribe. I got a lot of cool fun stuff coming up. It's always cool and fun stuff on Ren's Reviews. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I think that's it.
Stop being a silly Billy and get on your redemption arc ASAP. People like seeing you lose because you suck, but it's getting tiresome, it's getting worn out, so now it's time to win. But you have to get all the tattoos lasered off and you have to ditch Yoko Ono.
Yeah, I just feel like this guy's this video sucks. To be honest with you, this video is terrible. Okay, I can understand why this soylent person decided to criticize it. But let's get through more of this video. We might as well see it through, my boy.
Like satire unless you come into it wanting the old iDubbbz back. And of course having questionable views on women and relationships, but let me show you a few examples of why it feels just so weird and disjointed. Shitty costume company make boots that stay on challenge. Level impossible. Number 6 on his list of toxic relationship traits is sabotage. And this is the entire unedited section.
Number 6, sabotage.
What the hell is this? He's taken her last name. They married in June with iDubbbz's last name changed from Washburn to Joma.
Not that it matters, but the only reason why we chose my name over his last name is because his last name is like just objectively ugly.
Number 7.
Super weird, right?
They should have called it Joe Wash or something, you know?
Like no elaboration on this at all, how it is sabotage. The Sam Hyde inclusion is also questionable considering what he is up to.
I mean, yeah, kind of fair. That's Nick Fuentes a comical white supremacist, of course. That is fair. And also, like, yeah, you should elaborate on that. I think that, like, I'm a little bit more traditionally masculine. Taking your girl's last name, I think, is just fucking beta as shit. Also, if you want to move forward and change, I'd say, why don't you take each other's last name and some, like, hyphenate it or something? That would be where I would come from. But, like, at least stand on that. Stand on that perspective, you know? Like, oh, if you believe that, just say so. Hey, I believe that, you know? Be willing to, like, to say that about the perspective and be like, yeah, I think this. I think that's pathetic. Oh, okay. Like, explain it. Don't just like, you know, just, I guess, suppose the audience will, oh, they just get it. They just get it. No, be a fucking adult about it and say what the fuck you're talking about.
Like, why would Ian taking Anissa's name, A, even be something anybody gives a shit about, and B,
well, this guy's not going to obviously get it. He's not going to be part of, like, the the audience that understands why that would be something that would be fucking cringe as fuck. So
sabotage. Keep that in the back of your head.
You think it was a performative feminist move? I mean, it might be. That's the problem. Is not only did iDubbbz take her last name, but he's a weak man. So it comes off as like he just got steamrolled by Anissa, and that's not even necessarily his own choice. That's the problem, right? I think for some people.
We'll come back to it later. Like, number 3, manipulation would have been a better fit for this than the super weird H3H3 clip. Like, come on, Ren. I feel like I could do this better than you can. Number 4 is guilting. And again, full clip.
How much of your career did I honestly fuck up?
That to me is incredibly sad, and I feel really terrible that you feel that way, and I feel even worse is incredibly sad, and I feel really terrible that you feel that way, and I feel even worse that there are these chunks of people on the internet that like to push that narrative.
See, this only looks like guilting if you come into this ready to hate this woman already. To anybody else, like me, without context, this looks like a sweet but sad moment of Ian reassuring his wife that these dogshit fans are in fact gigantic, cruel babies, incapable of moving in the same way that he has. Number 7, isolation, has 2 clips back to back. Very nice change of pace. But I'm going to play the second clip because we'll get to the topic of the first one later.
Number 7, isolation.
Ian is very malleable. He's the friend in high school who ditches his friend group when he gets his first girlfriend. No, like, actually, he missed his best friend's wedding for his wife's tattoo appointment.
Yeah, that was pretty shitty of him.
Number 8.
This particular clip is actually quite important because 1, no context at all. Very cool. 2,
well, it is true. So
it's literally just a cut of someone else's sad, desperate content, which is a pretty frequent occurrence in this video. And 3, it leads to a very common pattern that is in this video, as well as all of them, in that it's not true, and he's just lying.
It is true. What are you talking about? He missed, they talk about it. He missed his fucking friend's wedding for the tattoo appointment. He decided not to go. People have been showing a clip of it. What are you talking about?
Disregarding the fact that in that clip, iDubbbz explains the context of why he didn't go to his friend's wedding, and they are actively choosing not to believe him over, according to my sleuthing, some guy on Twitter who appears to be the source of this conspiracy, per a shitty YouTube channel where someone just, like, reads tweets. Man.
Hey, don't go after the tweet readers, okay?
Look at those fucking views. I'm making the wrong kind.
We make a good amount of money on those tweet readers, guys.
That content here.
Yeah, I talked to Max about the wedding situation. When he was first fucking sending out invites, I was like really uncertain of how that was going to work out because I had some kind of important plans here in the States. So
that important plan being tattoo appointment?
We went a month earlier to kind of, you know, give him and Kat our well wishes.
A guy just said this and people ran with it because
they missed the wedding because they had a tattoo appointment that they could have rescheduled. Yes, that's true. What are you talking about?
Because they wanted to hate him. What are we doing? Ren lies again through clipping someone else's video about why iDubbbz is crying in a clip from when he went on a podcast with his therapist to talk about his life.
The same person.
And then he took that one down because it was fucking pathetic and embarrassing.
Live streamed his own therapy session where he actually cried while expressing he wished he had the relationship that Ethan and Hila have.
You know, I also see the dynamic of Ethan and Hila. I'm like, fuck, like.
This is a self-own so devastating, I can hardly believe it's real.
If you're thinking, wow, that Turkey Tom guy really sounds like the kind of person who would have real wigger swag as the tagline for his merch, you would be correct.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help him out that he's so edgy, sure, but he's not wrong about it, so.
Correct. Riddle me this, Batman. Do you know why Ren pulled that clip of Turkey Tom only playing that single isolated line from the podcast with his own moral grandstanding disguised as contextualization? It's because he cares more about keeping this dehumanizing fantasy alive than actually telling the truth, just like everybody else who does this. It's why there's no sources anywhere from any of these people.
Well, that podcast was, or that thing was taken down because it was an embarrassing shit video. That's Dr. Honda, right? That guy's a fucking loser. It was just like a pile on to Ethan. Yeah.
This clip is not about him wanting Ethan and Hila's relationship. It's a
That was, so just to be clear, it is very clear to me, and I'm fucking terminally online with this shit, that iDubbbz is incredibly insecure and projects himself onto Ethan and Hila's relationship constantly. So, like, yes, that is what is clear to me. I watched the entire conversation. I've seen a lot of stuff about that. That is exactly true.
About him talking about what it's like to watch your partner get harassed online.
It's just really, it's really hard to be, a couple online and see people attacking your partner, and it's like, okay, like if you come to,
and yet this guy who's performatively crying was not able to be like, hey guys, hey my other friends of Anissa's, maybe we shouldn't call CPS on Ethan's fucking children, you know. So great stuff. Comes off a little virtue signaling there,
their
huh?
defense, that doesn't always help them, right? Sometimes that makes it worse for them.
Liar, liar, pants on fire. They lied about the wedding. They lied about the crying.
Well, the wedding thing's not a lie either. I don't think that you really understand. And by the way, it's not exactly the worst thing in the world to not understand half this shit, but still, it doesn't seem like you really know what the fuck you're talking about. You know, you have one clip that you don't really understand the history about it. I'm going to assume that this isn't something that you typically talk about. No, you seem to. Let's see, we got the Ludwig Mango and pretending to care about harassment. It seems like you're a little terminal. Oh no, you're not that online. You don't really talk about that much stuff. Asmongold and the moderator. Oh yeah, Asmongold bad. True. I remember looking at this video and like turning it off because it didn't really seem to hit for me. But Asmongold is not good. But okay, a lot of gamer beauty. It's like a lot of okay, that's fine. Yeah, he doesn't seem like he's really that into it. It seems like he decided to kind of just make this video jumping on at the end. Okay, cool.
They lying about Anissa supposedly cheating on Ian with Hassan because they found like a photo where she's not wearing a wedding ring or something.
I mean, that is kind of a big deal. To me, at least, a wedding ring is kind of a big deal. Not wearing it's kind of a big deal. I don't know. That's kind of suggestive to me. I try not, like, sometimes when I'm on stream, I won't wear my wedding ring. I'll take it off because it gets like sweaty. Maybe that's what she had going on. But in public, I never take it off. On the rare occasion that like I have some swelling, I guess. But like it's kind of a big deal. It's weird. It is definitely weird. I don't really get it. You know, there's some things that suggest to me that she's, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's, to me, it's, you know, it's a lot of speculation. I don't want to get too much into it, but it's very strange behavior to me to not it's very strange behavior to me to not, you know, be wearing your wedding ring in public, especially around somebody else. Like, I don't know. It makes me uncomfortable personally, but you know, maybe that's just me. Maybe iDubbbz is just a super based guy. He doesn't care.
Very normal. Also, Ren and Tom appear to be Psych 101 students because they are just diagnosing Anissa with mental disorders that they're just kind of assuming she has based on their extremely sexist interpretation of her behavior.
Maybe even a splash of some histrionic personality disorder.
Other symptoms include compulsive oversharing about one's private life, dressing in a provocative manner for attention, being strongly opinionated.
Well, I know a lot of that video is centralized around looking at the things that she said she had. Which I don't personally think she really has anything, but yeah, true.
About things they don't know much about, being easily influenced by peers and emulating them, and the list goes on.
What's going on? I hope that me showing these examples is illustrating why I think this is terrible. I mean, these aren't even good lies and conspiracies. It's just easily disprovable edgy shit from man-children who want to hate Anissa.
They're not really easily disprovable. I mean, the diagnosing thing, sure, but
more than they want to tear about Ian. I wish there was something in the vein of like the whole Jewish space laser shit. Like that may be pretty bad, but at least it's interesting. But instead, we just get like the digital equivalent of a bunch of sexist toddlers putting their fingers in their ears and going la 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 as they lash out in what they perceive to be the problem with definitely not the same enlightened centrist, but actually conservative coded.
Ooh, we got the enlightened centrism, baby. I gotta love it.
Perspectives that Ian has worked to extract from his brain because they were actively hurting people, whether he wanted them to or not, because intent does not matter.
I was being very bigoted in a lot of my videos, and I justified it because, you know, I didn't think it was too serious. And I thought that people were going to see that
Yeah, I mean, this is a good criticism against the guy who made the other video, because the other guy didn't even seem to care at all about like any like, you know, bad behavior iDubbbz originally engaged in. So that's the problem, is the other person who made that other video. Like so far, this guy in this video, that's the soy guy wearing the fucking, you know, Cupid outfit, is more right than the other guy. Because the other guy can't even acknowledge anything, like there's nothing there. They can't even acknowledge that, oh yeah, maybe it is a good thing that Ian wanted to be less edgy. Can't even do that much. So it kind of kills his credibility, especially as somebody who's older and should be like, oh yeah, that's fucking stupid.
Had good intentions, you know, but that's so silly, you know. Casual racism is still racism.
It's
casual
called
bigotry is still bigotry.
Oh my god, I am going to have a sensory overload from this. Holy fuck. That same awareness in Ian, completely absent here. I'm sure that people like Ren would say that they have absolutely no issues with women at all, and honestly believe that in their heart of hearts. But anybody who is well-adjusted and sees this video and watches how he frames and talks about this subject matter will pick up on a remarkably different vibe, like a large amount of people in his comment section. Obviously, there's a certain amount of people who are like kind of on board with this, but I'm pleasantly surprised that basically all of the most upvoted comments are like, what the fuck is this video, man? All this shit is such a self-report. Like, even just the endless moaning these people make about Anissa having an OnlyFans and not like...
Yeah, I don't really care about the OnlyFans thing. Like, whatever, catch your bag.
that Ian is fine with it. It's just super weird. Like, they hate that shit. Oh my god.
I think it's why she has this undying need for external validation. She's a lot like Pennywise if you were to replace children's fear with raw validation, which explains why she wanted to start up an OnlyFans and post pictures of her
money shot.
I don't know, man. It's just very strange behavior. Who gives a fuck if people want to do fucking OnlyFans? You know? I mean, you could probably write some of this shit off that she does as like, oh, wanting to maximize her OnlyFans profit, so she engages in fucking, I don't know, whatever, like dumbass bullshit controversy sometimes, which might be true.
Or I guess it explains why anybody makes an OnlyFans, really.
Ren saying that she's looking for validation is extremely rich, coming from someone who ritualistically humiliates himself in public for his videos.
That's kind of fucking funny. Yeah, true. Actually kind of a decent criticism. Actually kind of funny. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough call, man. You can't be going out there and then fucking it's hard to criticize somebody else. I mean, do I think that there's a validation thing? There might be. I think that's a conversation to have, but I feel like it's kind of hard to pine on the fucking validation argument as somebody who wants to be a fucking content creator. You know, like, oh, you just want to do this for validation. I mean, I guess maybe, but like, maybe that's one of the reasons why people do that for OnlyFans. Possible. I don't know, but don't we all want validation? I just feel like who gives a fuck about that argument? I don't give a shit about the OnlyFans bad argument. I think it's fucking pathetic.
After earning $5, you can get paid through PayPal, Bitcoin, or virtual Visa
What the hell
cards.
is this?
And if you register now using the
Is this guy going around pretending to have like a fucking thing on him? What the fuck is that?
special link in the description, you'll instantly get $1 in your Pawns app balance.
But based on the sponsor for this video, I'm guessing his quest for validation isn't nearly as successful financially as hers. I know that took a little bit of time, but I only really scratched the surface, and I hope you can realize why I had to break some of this down and inflict psychic damage upon you to contextualize a lot of what I'm about to talk about next with growth, taking responsibility, and developing emotional attachments as men, because so many men, as we're seeing, don't do any of those. Also, I need to get out of this costume or I'm going to have a panic attack. Oh my lord, this is so much.
No one cares about men.
I'm going halvesies with the costume. I'm not going full quitter, but holy fuck. The rest of that, learning about this whole situation really has me thinking about what it means to grow up as a man and what that means in the context of a relationship, particularly one that so many shitters have a sad parasocial relationship with. It's always kind of sad to see somebody reach Ren and Tom's level of artistic and intellectual stagnation, because I always think like that could have been me. I was like these guys 10 years ago, complaining about irrelevant garbage with this toxic, ignorant, and angry view of the world, and picking the most sexist common denominator answers to my very real problems. Oh, and if you think I'm being unfair in labeling Ren as ignorant and selfish, despite what I have already showed, here's a clip from his Wolfenstein 2 review a few months ago.
Now, I've stayed out of politics almost entirely because, well, I genuinely do not care about them. And I find conversations regarding
Why? It's kind of cringe. I don't know.
Regarding politics, both on YouTube and in person, to be exhausting.
Like only young people are allowed to say they don't care about politics.
Because, you know, I'm just here to have fun and play video games, man. The marketing team did lean into the current day events of the time for...
Is this Is this the fucking guy who made the other video?
The new Colossus's marketing campaign.
A lot of companies would say, back away from it, please buy our game.
Well, there's one main difference between us and our game and everything else, which is games about Nazis.
Ultimately, I think this was a poor decision because it caused people to come into playing this game with a political lens.
What? I don't understand the point. I don't understand what that means.
Despite what I have already showed, here's a clip from his Wolfenstein 2 review a few months ago.
Now, I've stayed out of politics almost entirely because, well, I genuinely do not care about them. And I find conversations regarding politics, both on YouTube and in person, to be exhausting. Because, you know, I'm just here to have fun and play video games, man. The marketing team...
What, are you just a bystander? Okay.
...did lean into the current day events of the time for...
Make America Nazi free again. Oh, that's what they said. Okay.
For the new Colossus's marketing campaign.
A lot of companies would say, back away from it, please buy our game.
Well, there's one main difference between us and our game and everything else, which is games about Nazis.
Okay, yeah, I think that's fine. I think that the Trump administration is a fucking it's a legitimate threat to our fucking democracy, so I'm never going to disagree with a marketing campaign, especially with all the shit that they're doing. I don't think it's an unreasonable comparison to make when it comes to them and the Trump administration. And I mean, I don't know, I wouldn't go as far as Nazis, but I mean, he did the January 6th, he got those people off. He's violating people's due process. He's violating and ignoring fucking court orders from the Supreme Court. He's vilifying fucking immigrants, saying that they're sending their worst and not just saying like, hey, we understand they want to come here, but we can't allow them in. He's just like, you know, what are we talking about? They're targeting trans people. They're targeting gay people. What the fuck? They're cutting health care for people. They're cutting U.S. aid to other countries, which not only helps poor people in those countries, but also actually helps our standing in the world. I don't know. If you're somebody who voted Trump, like, that's fine, but you should be embarrassed about it. You should be embarrassed about it, just to be clear.
Ultimately, I think this was a poor decision because it caused people to come into playing this game with a political lens.
My favorite apolitical franchise, Wolfenstein. In my humble and objectively correct opinion, iDubbbz's arc should be, to a certain degree, aspiration. We have a man emerging from the digital void, reflecting on his past and taking accountability for his actions, and trying to evolve in what he wants to do, not only with his work, but how he wants to go through life. We are literally in real time watching him change from an angry caricature that says the N-word in public to someone that openly embraces therapy and can talk about his personal and emotional struggles on a public forum.
That's fine, but like, let's just be clear again. Like, iDubbbz really seems to want good boy points and like, oh yeah. I'm saying this is bad. He doesn't come off. He's not a masculine guy who's like, yeah, we need to start embracing. We need to start like embracing therapy. Like, he doesn't. Nobody gives a fuck that this guy is like going to therapy and crying. In my opinion, performatively. And also, I understand crying is okay sometimes, but like, there's a fucking time and a place. You don't need to be crying as much as iDubbbz decides to cry. It's fucking pathetic and embarrassing at a certain point. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that often where it's justifiable to go and cry. Just because it's okay to cry sometimes doesn't mean that you have to cry all the fucking time. Which is what iDubbbz seems to do. He cries way too much, all things considered.
That's amazing. But despite
it just comes off as performative and weak. So you want to think I'm a little dated in my thing? That's fine. I don't care. I'm just letting you know. That's how that's the way that people are going to interpret it.
Being cut from very much the same cloth as the people who performatively whine about nobody cares about men's issues, the fine gentlemen who make videos like Ren's actively perpetuate a culture in which not only nobody cares about male pain, but is actively hostile towards men expressing it in the first place. We cannot heal what we cannot feel. By supporting patriarchal culture that socializes men to deny feelings, we doom them to live in states of emotional numbness. We construct a culture where male pain can have no voice, where male hurt cannot be named or healed. Shout out The Will to Change. It's going to be the next book that we're reading on my book club on my Patreon. Shameless plug. Please give me money, or don't, and just donate to like Palestine instead. Remember?
Whoa! Hey, I was hoping for a Palestine reference at a certain point.
Where Tom and Ran lied about iDubbbz crying to his therapist. I have a confession to make about
what they lied about. What?
Please give me money, or don't, and just donate to like Palestine instead. Remember that clip where Tom and Ran lied about iDubbbz crying to his therapist?
Oh, he did cry, but he's saying that they lied about the reason why. Okay, I mean, I don't agree with that, but okay.
I have a confession to make about that, actually. You see, I hid something from you because I was saving it for this part. And that thing is Ren's lead-in.
And then Ian goes on a podcast with a therapist and gets extremely real with him, which is a profoundly stupid idea. like eating with your mouth full on camera. He of all people should know better than to go on a therapist's podcast and vent about his very real problems on a public forum like that, because people will use that information against him.
I mean, that is a fair criticism to make. He should know that. But like I said, I think he wants to be known as like the sensitivity guy, but there's no backing to it. Nobody cares about a guy who's like a very feminine leaning, sensitive guy. They're not going to write that off as a masculine man finally expressing his emotions in a productive way and releasing them in a productive way. They're just gonna be like, oh, this guy's just crying because he's fucking annoying.
Like this.
The same person live streamed his...
In their right mind can blame iDubbbz for wanting to distance himself from his shitty fans when they attempt to humiliate him by lying about his therapy discussions. That is demon behavior. Reactions like this are also present around...
How is it a lie? But I don't understand that. Okay.
Him speaking about his feelings of shame, about his past content, and his insecurity to make entertaining content, which these guys should really have more insecurity about. And it's no wonder that men don't talk about their emotions, because other men will dismiss it and ridicule them for it, unless it is, of course, a man-approved
Well, sometimes that happens, but again, I don't think that that's what's happening when it comes to iDubbbz.
emotion, like anger, sexism, or apoliticism. Shame and
Okay. That's fucking ridiculous.
emotional vulnerability is often what men who are closed down emotionally seek to hide. Since shaming is often used to socialize boys away from their feeling selves toward the patriarchal male mask, many grown men have an internal shaming voice. A lot of men have grown to have an external shaming voice because these guys just don't shut the fuck up. The inherent fear of sharing and emotion present in men like this stifles the very notion of the idea of love and growth, because both require a vulnerability that many men would mock in other men. So they cannot do it themselves, lest they be Uno reversed and mocked for the same reason that they mock other people. Don't worry, fellas, I'm not mocking you for those reasons. I'm mocking you for different ones. So please, put down the editing software and go to therapy. It's important to emphasize that the shaming of Ian for sharing his fifis is notably different than the shaming of people like Anissa and women in general. To these parasocial glue eaters, the women's problems always seem to be intrinsic to the core of their being and ruin the man, and never the other way around. Remember this for later.
And I've never in my life seen anybody lose the entirety of their being in the way Ian has. And it makes you wonder, right? What could have possibly come along and snuffed out his spark like that?
It's not Anissa. Like I said before, it's the fact that I'm sure that there was a lot of genuinity coming along with like the fact that he felt like his content was too edgy, and him not knowing how to parse through it in a way where like what is good and what is bad, which is difficult. It's just overcorrecting. And like, again, Anissa's not great guiding him through that, but then again, like, you know, that's quite a big responsibility to just put on her, and relationships are two people. So it makes sense that he would have the insecurity. It's unfortunate he still hasn't been able to work through that insecurity. I don't think that he has any meaningful or positive friendships or relationships around him. Part of that's because of Anissa, but part of that's because he doesn't set boundaries with Anissa. Like they have a lot, you know, there's a lot there. There's like a tremendous amount of that to unpack.
Forced him to change because she's stinky and bad and inherently toxic, and not that he wanted to change. Something misogyny. Like they believe this.
But yeah, and again, that guy didn't even believe that that like Ian should have even changed in the first place. So it's kind of hard for him to say anything. That fucking gray-haired guy, what the fuck you want to call him.
To the point that they will actively lie in their evidence to keep this narrative alive. And to me, I think that's one of the most interesting things about
You're harping on this thing being a lie, but it's not.
This entire unemployed situation. It really shows that they kind of have no idea what it takes to be in or maintain a relationship or to love somebody, despite both sides.
I mean, that might be true. I know that Tom is young. But me, I do be in a nice, healthy relationship finally. So I have a little bit more to say on this that comes from like a level of, I'd say, credibility in that way.
Sides, or all sides for my polycule watchers out there, being damaged, traumatized people.
Ew, polycule, that.
Because we live in a society. Loving someone isn't about having the perfect person. It's about caring about someone enough to want to put in the work.
Yeah, and that's the problem, is that Ian doesn't put in the work. He's fucking lazy. That's one of the problems. Like, what work does Ian put in his relationship with Anissa? Like, she fucking makes every decision for him. You know what I mean? Like, I do kind of feel bad for her.
Okay, we're almost there. This last clip that I want to show you is one of these people's favorite pieces of proof about this whole situation. But once I show you some
Get him, sister, brother.
Context, that to be honest, they probably never even bothered to watch, I'm gonna have the final arrow. Fucking, come on, you piece of shit. Through the heart.
Ooh, shit.
Fellas, is it bitch made to admire your wife? hold that thought. We'll come back.
If there's something worth admiring, but Anissa's not particularly successful in a meaningful capacity. Or like when they fucking botched their creator class shit pretty hard, and it's very clear that they didn't care enough about charity in the way that they had made it seem like they cared. So like there's really nothing to admire about Anissa.
I know we've come a long way, so I just want to reiterate. The initial claim was basically that Ian changed himself for a girl. He was abused and broken until his mind could resist no longer and gave way to the sinister influence from the old ball and chain. Clip.
He literally actively changed himself for her.
Are you thankful that she influenced you in this way?
Yes, absolutely. A lot of the things that she describes like admiring in other people, I'm like, I kind of want to strive to be like those people.
Ian's self-admittance to changing himself on a part of his wife's influence to them is the smoking gun, the red flag, the flashing light. And you basically have two ways of interpreting this clip. The first way to interpret this clip from a much larger conversation is that Ian has effectively been beaten down and brainwashed into throwing away his independence, his masculinity, and losing his edge.
I think that there's a little truth to that. It's just that like him wanting to change isn't part of that. It's just that he became very lazy and gave everything over to Anissa. Like Ian is very feminine. It's okay to be feminine. I don't think that dynamic works though, because again, they're trending downwards, and he's trending downwards in his success. So I don't think it's like particularly a productive thing. What's going on between the two of them? In all honesty. So like, yeah, I think that it's okay to be feminine. I don't think that they necessarily want to be feminine, or he wants. I think Anissa seems like the kind of person that wants a more masculine presence, and is just kind of stuck with iDubbbz. So fuck.
Due to abuse from an intrinsically damaged woman. So sad. The second way to look at this clip is a man expressing gratitude for being exposed to different types of people and ways of thinking to become someone that he is more happy to be, and in turn make her more happy to be with.
I don't think that he's happy to be though. We say that he's happy to be this person, but he's still deeply insecure about making content. And like that is his whole kind of fundamental being. He wants to be a content creator, but can't figure out how to do it successfully anymore. So to say that like he wants to be, I think we're missing a few things, or excuse me, to say that he's like healthier now, I think we're kind of missing something here, because it's very clear to me that he's not necessarily healthier now. Or, he's not really balanced. He doesn't want to be this person fully. He wants to be a less edgy person that's still successful. He can't parse through the success though. So, I mean, there's clearly something going on when it comes to him, and he's not as successful as he'd like to be. And I think a lot of that comes down to his fucking laziness. So
I'll play another clip from that podcast, of course, that they never show, and conveniently starts immediately where the last one stops. And it's a little bit long, but I promise you, this is deeply important.
Just being, I think, more thoughtful and like not a lot of these like super toxic masculine traits and like, alpha male, being aggressive, being loud, all this stuff. Like she's been very vocal since the beginning that she doesn't like that. And it's like, it's painful in a lot of ways to like even experience someone doing that. Even if you're not connected, it's like, oh man. And I've kind of like, I guess I never really had a strong opinion one way or the other about that. I think I was probably just towing the line of society in a lot of ways, where it's just like, yeah, I have some general like ideas of maybe how I should act as a man. And that probably is a little bit more on the aggressive, a little bit more on the ignore your emotions kind of side of things.
Okay.
And that probably is a little bit more on the aggressive, a little bit more on the ignore your emotions kind of side of things. So yeah, over the years, just being very open to, I think, what Anissa admired kind of put me on that path a little bit more, where I'm like, yeah, and even just thinking about it myself, I'm like, yeah, like having like outbursts or being aggressive, I don't know, like
this isn't from the same thing that you're referencing though. What is he talking about? Okay.
random road rage examples or people on reality TV. I'm just like, I don't like how like the lack of control it seems like these people have. And once I saw that myself, I'm like, oh shoot, I don't have control right now in this moment.
Okay. This is the thing. Like, it's nice that he's saying these things. It doesn't mean he's having a genuine interaction with these things. And so, like, that's a problem, right? We're like, oh, yeah, see, look, he says these. Yeah, it sounds nice. But he doesn't know how to productively... he doesn't know how to, like, productively engage with, like, half the shit that he's doing. This is, like, the issue here more than anything else, I would say. He doesn't necessarily know how to like productively engage with whatever the fuck's going on. Like, yeah, it's nice that he's a little more feminine, but it's not nice that he's lost a lot of the agency over himself and he's deeply insecure and he hasn't figured out a way to move through that. So like, yeah, that's nice. It's a nice thing to say. cool. I don't think it's the end all be all. Now, again, that other guy decided not to recognize that like Ian should have made a change at all in the first place. So, you know, he kind of loses a tremendous amount of points for that. So let's be clear. But, well, Jesus fucking Christ.
I know it's a little bit of a faux pas to be influenced by somebody who doesn't only solve problems with excessive violence and anger, but I think realizing these
I think that we need to make it clear that just because you can acknowledge something and talk about something doesn't mean that you necessarily know how to express that thing healthy. So you could sit here and be like, oh, men need to be more emotional and express their emotions and all this other thing. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're somebody who knows how to express your emotions in a productive way, just because you know how to say things. People can say things all they want. Doesn't mean that they necessarily know how to apply these things to their relationships. I think Ian understands generally that he should be like less toxic and all that, but it doesn't mean he's applying it the correct way to anything. So
uncomfortable things about yourself that you haven't really been able to put into words through interactions with the people closest to you. It's pretty normal. Seems like a pretty normal thing. I also talk about this a little bit in my last video, shameless plug. Influential counselor, author, and man who looks like an evil art dealer, Terrence Real, has long stated that women are raised to know more about and want more from relationships than men. And he refers to this phenomena as the intimacy gap. And considering the long-held Western expectations of men being told crying is gay and that basically all they needed to do to get a woman was to provide a steady income, I don't think it should be surprising that this is like a thing. At least those were the expectations until very recently. Everything really snowballed downhill as soon as women got the right to vote, huh? Like, now we gotta be emotionally connected to the people we want to spend our lives with instead of just using them for child rearing and to do housekeeping? Stupid. Over the last 50 years, especially women's roles in society have kind of become something entirely different, and as such, so have their expectations. And I'm not talking about like just wanting men to do the dishes more, like I'm talking about them wanting to be with a human being and not just a walking income stream that's an emotional time bomb. Some people might tell you that's what all women want, but those guys...
What is the point that you're making? Because Ian is a little more sensitive, that means that he's on the right path? I don't necessarily think so. Ian is not the type of sensitive that Anissa's looking for. It's very clear that she needs somebody that's a little more masculine. She steamrolls the relationship. She needs somebody that can set better boundaries. He's somebody who is just very weak, and he will not stand up for himself at all. He's not going to work with somebody like Anissa. Okay, it's nice to be more in touch with your feminine side and more empathetic as a man. Ian is not a traditional masculine man. He is somebody who grew up with incredibly antisocial behaviors, and he feels bad about it now that he's gotten a little older, and he doesn't know how to act because he's not, again, a masculine man. He shouldn't be with somebody that's masculine like Anissa, because Anissa's a masculine woman, and so she's just steamrolling him. Like, this is what it is. They're not a compatible match for each other. She needs somebody that'll be like, stop. You need to like knock it the fuck off. That's what she needs. That's what I need. That's what my wife needs. That's why we work very well together. We're two masculine people together. Ian needs to be somebody a little bit more feminine. That's going to give him the opportunity to make decisions for himself. Somebody that's going to some degree, baby him a little bit. And Anissa needs somebody that'll shut her the fuck up. And I don't mean that in a negative, sexist way, because the person that Anissa needs also needs her to tell them to shut the fuck up. That's what we're talking about here. That's the issue with these two. They got together. They're not a good match for each other. They'll probably never work. And if they do engage in therapy, it's going to have to be a complete change of character, where Anissa is going to have to actively shut the fuck up for a second. She needs to acknowledge when she needs to shut the fuck up and let him make decisions. But like, that's kind of a burdenous relationship for a lot of people. I couldn't function in that. That'd be fucking I need somebody to tell me to shut the fuck up. Like, that's what she needs. They're not compatible together. Just because he's a more feminine man doesn't make him amazing. And it's kind of annoying. I'm not trying to be a fucking asshole, but it is very annoying when you have a bunch of very feminine men coming online and telling people what the best representation of a masculine man is. Because you don't really know, and that's okay, but stop pretending. Stop pretending. You're not doing anything. There's no constructive conversation that we're having here when you're like, iDubbbz good. Because why? He's a very feminine man. There's nothing wrong with that. But like, he's not going to ever be the model for a bunch of fucking masculine men to be like, oh yeah, that's what I want. Or even young men who are more masculine leaning. It's never going to it's not going to click for them. They're not going to give a fuck about what this guy has to say. Like, you guys, we've got to keep these things in mind. Like, you guys are just fucking Oh, look, a guy who's not toxically masculine. He must be good. No, iDubbbz is not. He's a weak relationship partner. He's not good to be with for Anissa.
Nice.
And I understand that most of the criticism from people is not that. I understand that, like, I don't have the same take as everybody else. I don't want you guys to think that just because I'm saying this means I'm, like, validating everybody that's like, oh, Anissa bad, because you're all fucking stupid, okay? If you don't have my take, you're dumb, okay? So, you know, I'm not trying to co-sign that or justify, like, dumbass fuck perspectives. I'm just letting you know that, like, this is not as black and white as you guys want to portray it as.
Are stupid. Oh, what's that? It's another clip that these guys are never going to show you?
My gauge of other clients that have talked like you, where you're at that stage where you're saying occasionally there are times when you're starting to notice when you're feeling something and you don't have a word for it, and the best word that you can think of is frustration.
Yeah.
And that's wonderful. It's better than 1%. But
this isn't from the same conversation. I'm pretty sure they were referencing the conversation that's been gone for a while. So I don't know. You keep pretending like they're not showing this from the same conversation, but it's not the same conversation.
I like the number though, because I want to.
It's awesome.
I want to gamify, and I'm like, all right, how can I maximize my stats?
Yeah.
It's also just so cool because when he started doing it, just being like, I'm feeling something, that was enough for the blow-ups to stop.
Ian himself was part of the problem. He had blow-ups. Because
he still is part of the problem.
Because he couldn't formulate even what he was thinking. And even the tiniest change, the tiniest realization for him to just say emotion was enough to make a huge difference to not only their relationship, but it seems like the quality of Ian's life in general. So much of the core of a lot of these videos is that a lot of these guys choose to show countless contextless and manipulated clips of stuff that Anissa has said she has done in the past due to her own demons, which could for sure be seen as problematic. But they don't show Ian's stuff because that would complicate the narrative way more. Both of these people clearly have traumas and have done not good things to each other. But the fact that they have been able to openly discuss those behaviors and take accountability for their own shortcomings, even in general, not even the fact that they're doing it in public, is amazing. To see people in real life.
I guess, sure. Okay. The problem is everything's just black and white. Either they're all good or they're all bad. Like, that's the problem with all these conversations.
Want to put in the work to become happier, better, more adjusted people instead of just dumping the other person and moving on to another disastrous relationship.
They probably should leave each other. It's okay. Okay. It's okay. It's okay that some people aren't compatible. Maybe I'm wrong and I just think that they're not compatible, but I'm fairly confident that they're not very compatible to each other. And sometimes it is an okay thing to move on from somebody. This isn't the fucking 1950s anymore. You're not forced to be with a partner. I think this is Ian's first relationship and he got with Anissa. And like, that's not, you usually are not going to pick the right relationship right off the bat. And I think that that's what happened. And it's okay if they decide to move on from each other. I don't think it indicates that it's like that they're bad people. You know, I just don't think that they're necessarily compatible with each other. You know, yeah. I mean, it would be tough, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just maybe I'm giving too much commentary on this. I don't think that they're good for each other.
Should be celebrated. Now, look, obviously, sometimes dumping somebody is the correct move, but like, this is good. This is progress. We don't see this enough. And the fact that people like Ren and
therapy do be good sometimes
would rather make sexist conspiracy theories about a woman who is clearly bargaining with her own devils instead of being happy that Ian has been fortunate enough to find a partner who cares enough about him to want to help and support him in his quest to reach a better place in which he feels more secure as a man and a partner is quite frankly sad, disgusting, and incredibly cringe. I regularly ponder about the many failed relationships that I've had in my life due to my previous inability to do what Ian is learning to do. I'm down the path to improvement, which is great for me, but I'm continually haunted by the ghosts of what could have been in so many different situations. To learn to develop insight around your own faults and pains in a deeply complicated tangle of social garbage injected into your skull is something that men are so deeply, infrequently incapable of doing because of narratives like this. And Ian freeing himself from the infinite Tsukiyomi of masculine repression is amazing, and I'm super jazzed for him. Now, I'm not going to say that seeing somebody like him doing what he's doing would have had a significant impact on me because, like, it doesn't really seem like it's having a lot of impact on these guys, but it certainly doesn't hurt. And it doesn't detract from the fact that the big main part that leads changes like this happening is the people closest to you giving you feedback and insight and encouragement and calling you out when you're being kind of weird The people.
It's interesting when you watch commentary videos like that. And by the way, this guy's more right than the other guy we watched. But when you're watching commentary videos like this, one of the things that you miss when you have videos that are curated like this is that there was a greater narrative there that was, or not even a greater narrative. There are some good points that were made. You know, things like embarrassing your partner publicly, like Anissa did. Those are things to talk about. If you want to say, well, I haven't seen her do it again recently, that's fine. Whatever you want to say as a defense. But you get the opportunity to ignore it when you do like reaction commentary like this, because you get to pick and choose, and you can be like, oh, these are the bad ones, and not talk about the potential good ones. So it gets a little bit annoying, you know?
People closest to you are the biggest catalysts for change, exactly like what happened with Ian and Anissa. I do have a deep sympathy for men in this place of being unable to know what to do or how to move forward, because I have been there. But I do not have sympathy for the men who channel this deep emptiness inside of them into making and monetizing content based entirely around borderline inaccurate rhetorical violence and moral grandstanding disguised as justice. Because that's what the content cops were. That's what Ian realized, and that's why he stopped making them.
I was morally grandstanding and acting as if I am any better than any of these people that I was making content cop videos on, and I'm not. I'm a human. I'm a real human who makes mistakes, and you know, I make a different set of mistakes than the people I was making videos on, but it doesn't matter. I don't think anyone deserves that level of cruelty or hate. It's also indoctrinated a lot of people into thinking that this is an okay way to behave, and it's not. It's super irresponsible and shitty.
Videos like these that Ren makes, that Tom makes, and that iDubbbz made were not about wanting real systemic change or justice. It's about wanting to feel better than someone else. The best thing that you can do is not—
Is that what you think, though? That all of his old videos were shit? And that there was no benefit to it? That's one of the problems that people have. Like, just writing off all the old content is like, oh, it was all shit. It was all terrible. That's the problem that some people just hate that he's not making the same content anymore, and I do understand that. But like, writing all of it off as if like being fucking garbage is a problem. It's not all garbage just because like some of it was. That's one of the fucking problems that people are going to have.
Watch any of these videos, including this one. It's to turn this off and never think about this again, ever. Get hobbies, do activities, meet good people, go into the world, make mistakes, go to therapy, do all of these things. Don't care about any of these people, except me. You should care about me. I'm very cool and handsome. There are so many people who do this, including a lot of smaller people who are trying to get into the content game through stuff like this. And
well, you're one of them, no?
I'm telling you right now, you making stuff like this is only going to make your life worse, because you're going to alienate the people around you who actually give a shit about you. Shout out the comment section of Ren's video that is absolutely roasting him. And you're also going to attract more stagnant, empty souls who will turn on you so fucking—
It depends. Yeah, kind of. There's are instances of that. I could see that. If your commentary is iDubbbz always was good in the back in the day, like that other guy was communicating, then yes, this is true. You will have this like relationship, sure.
Fast if you start singing the wrong tune, exactly like what happened with iDubbbz. And to Ren specifically, this video sucked. It was bad. It was mean. It was lazy. Like, I don't know if you just lied intentionally throughout this because of the reasons I mentioned before, or if you had to rush out this giant self-report of a video for an ad revenue deadline, but considering the incredibly lackluster editing and the zero sources for anything in the description, I'm kind of betting it's a bit of both. And if you, Ren, or anybody else takes issue with anything that I say, my email's right motherfucking there, baby. I'm not motherfucking Blue Sky.
The fuck would people email you?
Email me. I will talk to anybody about this shit. I've said this at the end of every one of these videos, and no one has taken it up on me. Looking at you, Jack Sather. I ain't no coward. I'll say all this shit to anyone's face any time of the goddamn day. Growing up and having a good relationship isn't made of these idealized visions. They're not about having, I would die for you, I would kill for you, I love you no matter what, you never need to change. Like, whatever, man. Will you stay hydrated for me? Will you eat a healthy meal for me? Will you get 8 hours of good sleep? Will you tell me about your feelings? Will you put your feet in my mouth? Succeeding in this is about the little things. It's about showing up every single day, taking a hard look at yourself and what your problems are and what you want to be, and doing the not so glamorous dirty work. But that narrative does not make a very good drama video. Okay, I'm done talking about this forever.
I don't know if this one does either, but okay.
Goodbye. Oh my God, I have been parched this entire time, but I didn't want to move to go get my water bottle. Thanks for watching. I know I got—
I guess this is just an outro. Okay, great. Cool. I don't know, dude. It's just like, I think, I don't think you really know what you're talking about either there, but you were more right, so good for you.
A little spicy in there, but I was quite mad seeing the very mean things that these people just always get away with saying, like, oh yeah,
all right, we get it.